Fantastic, really enjoyed that. Next up, we have a panel on Into the Metaverse, investing in NFTs and digital ownership, moderated by Rachel. And really looking forward to this one. It's going to be pretty fiery. So welcome, everyone.
Hi. Okay, it's on. Hey, everyone. My name is Rachel Wolfson. I am a journalist and podcast host and an author. Glad to see everyone is still here, even though it's after 5 o'clock. We've got a great panel. It's called Into the Metaverse, Investing in NFTs and Digital Ownership. I'm going to just go ahead and let the panelists briefly introduce themselves, and then I'll go into the questions.
Starting with you.
Thanks. Starting with Vanessa.
Hi, everyone. My name is Vanessa Grellet. I'm a portfolio manager at a fund called Aglaé Ventures. We invest in pre-seed, seed, and Series A's across the creator economy, but also core infrastructure and DeFi and CeFi. The unique position of my fund is that it's the LVMH family that is my sole LP. So when we do invest in things related to luxury goods or NFTs or the metaverse, and there's synergies with the brands, we also make that happen. So excited to be here.
Hi, my name is Oleg, and I started a business called Sweatcoin in 2014. Last year, we moved into Web3. We finally found chain fast enough, so we're building on Near. And because of our scale, we have more than 130 million users. We cannot approach NFTs in a fashion that, kind of most collections approach it right now. We need to be thinking of millions of NFT holders and approaches, how they can engage and how they can potentially gain value. And I guess we're doing quite a lot of pioneering work, and that's why I'm here.
Hey everybody, I'm Drew Austin. So I'm here as a collector, builder, and an investor. So I kind of see the space from a few different perspectives. As an investor, I invest through Redbeard Ventures, AngelList Syndicate, and our first managed capital fund. We invest in early stage, pre-seed, seed, blockchain, Web3 businesses. We spend a lot of time with companies thinking about tokenomics and how to introduce new types of user experiences and behaviors by leveraging the blockchain technology. And I'm also a co-founder of Knights of Degen. We have any Knights in the building here? Let's go. We got Knights of Degen is the leading Web3 sports PFP project, but also a really interesting fantasy sports game and that incorporates NFTs through traditional RPG behaviors. So happy to talk that through as well.
Hi, everybody. My name is Eraser. So I'm the founding partner of SevenX Ventures. So we're an Asian-based crypto fund that invests into early-stage projects from infra across to, gaming and social apps. I'm also a crazy NFT collector. I own like almost 300 art blocks and almost like 100 something. Metaverse land, so all across different metaverses. So yeah, very happy to be in this panel. Thanks.
Hi, everybody. My name is Scarlett Arana. I'm actually the co-founder of BitBasil. We specialize in onboarding the masses to Web3, particularly in Metaverse. I'm actually an architect and a geospatial scientist. So to talk about digital twin, how that relates into unlocking the city's cultural value. So it's really exciting to be in this space and what the future of Metaverse look like in a couple of years.
Cool. Okay, so my first question for you guys is, what characteristics do you look for when determining which types of NFTs to invest in? And anybody can start.
So our fund doesn't invest directly in NFTs, but I do collect them personally. I think what I'm looking for at first is the message and the community. not just the sort of the physical characteristics of the NFT, unless it's like generative art, which is a category in of itself. If it's a really art NFT, I'll look at really the artist and their message, and I think that's what I'm really looking for, is what message are you delivering to the world, and what do you want to create in the future with it?
You're not going to like my answer, but my answer is I just need to like them. I really don't particularly care about characteristics, etc. It just needs to resonate. But where it gets interesting is I do believe that the NFTs are evolving, and we need to be thinking not what we're buying now, but what is the utility and what is the value that will come. And my bet right now that it is going to be in dynamic NFT space. These NFTs are going to evolve on the basis of on-chain activity, potentially off-chain activity, and they will become representations of you in Metaverse, in space. And then they might actually become incredibly valuable because everyone is quite unique, and the combination of visual characteristics and metadata could become extremely sought after. So rather than controlling the entry point and saying there will be maximum 10 NFTs, 20 NFTs, 10,000 NFTs, we can actually create things that hundreds of millions of people will be able to engage with, but selected few will become collector's items and will become incredibly sought after and incredibly valuable.
So for me, I started collecting NFTs in 2018. My first ones I ever bought were on Super Rare. And then actually Super Rare became my first investment that I ever made as a venture investor. So I had three kind of like moments in the NFT space that kind of transformed my thinking about NFTs. The first one was the first piece of art that I bought on Super Rare, and when I felt that same feeling of ownership and pride in the asset that I purchased, and the fact that that was transferable from the physical art that I've collected to a digital, and I felt that same feeling, that was a really powerful moment for me. My second one was NBA Top Shot. That was one of my second major moments. The first time I opened a pack, got excited about what I was able to get, was able to quickly sell a moment, and felt that collecting experience that I remembered from when I was a kid, and realized how much easier it is to move in a liquid market. I just thought this was an incredible platform and an incredible use case for NFTs. The third one happened to be Zed Run. Zed Run was a horse racing game, and I remember vividly, like the first time I won 2 races in a row with my NFT horse, all of a sudden I was getting offers for thousands of dollars for a horse that I paid, I think, a couple $100 for, and I had this feeling of horse ownership that like 0.001% of the world feels. Like I've been to Belmont, I've bet on a horse, I forget its name 5 seconds later. But to feel that level of ownership was really powerful. From there, now I'm like, I own thousands of NFTs. I love to see teams that are innovating, that are bringing new utility, new behaviors, new experiences. I look at it almost like venture. I like to know the team. I like to think about how they're utilizing and applying technology. What is their roadmap? How are they thinking about the long-term vision? Or I just have to like the art. If the art resonates with me and it's something that I want to display in my house or my office in the metaverse, when I start to throw parties in the metaverse, then that's something I want to procure. So for me, there's a lot of different variables and different things that approach, but I've kind of been through this journey now where I've learned to know what I like, and when I feel it, we've now invested as a fund in Dapper, in Zed Run, in Super Rare, in many of these companies because I felt so passionate. Knights of Degen, of course, as well, is another one where my fund is an investor, I'm a builder, and I probably own 100+ out of the Knights NFTs because I believe so much in what we're building. So for me, once I feel it, I'm very comfortable dabbling and testing the waters with various projects. But if I feel conviction, then I push the chips.
Yeah, when I'm answering this question, I want to answer it from 2 perspectives. One, as a fund. So as a fund, we invested in, I would say, innovative technologies on NFTs. For example, programmable NFTs, right? So if you think that because I think our definition of NFT right now is a little bit too narrow, right? It's only about collectibles, arts, and things in the games. But I think NFT is a very, very kind of wide kind of definition. So it's just a container, so it can contain everything. It's just an object, right? So why not? It can be a kind of like let's say a paragraph of code, or it's just another AI algorithm, right? So basically, what we're looking at is technologies that can change NFTs, or we could call it dynamic or programmable NFTs. So that's what interests me most. And as a collector, I believe in two kinds of NFTs. One is they have absolute utility. For example, Metaverse lands. That gives you ownership, right? So you can just feel that you have the ownership. No one can actually take your land away. And that have 100% of use utilities that's linked to the NFT. And another one is 0% of utility. It's just an art. So which I love is actually 100% generative art, and it's 100% generative on the chain itself. It's not about owning a picture and this picture is stored somewhere else, off chain or on an IPFS or somewhere else. So it's all about 100% on chain, but with no utility. Yeah.
Here in BitBasel, we actually have a lot of NFT collectors, and oftentimes these NFT collectors, what they're looking for is the story of your NFTs. Some are more interested in more PHP projects, some are more rare, unique artifacts, and others are more utility. But in the light of PHP projects, and we work with a lot of one-on-one artists, and we find these artists are having a hard time selling their NFTs. So what we began to do here at BitBasel, we added a utility which add token-gated ability that unlocks some of the cultural value within that artwork to allow the artists to tell their stories. And this is something that's very attractive to a lot of these NFT collectors. And this idea of using token-gated artwork is to give specific access to a collection of that art is extremely valuable, because oftentimes the artists are the NFT collector buy the artwork because they're looking to help support these artists, and they've been very, very successful as a result. I'm really excited because now we're seeing more programmable NFTs doing like even dynamic NFT within events. So we see NFTs that are used as augmented reality to enhance artwork. So that's also very attractive on the Metaverse side, and it has unlockable features. And we also see social AR. So what that means is two NFTs that interact with each other to unlock special token-gated abilities. So these are, we're very first stage in terms of what is even possible with NFTs, and it's really exciting, especially in this ecosystem of what kind of utility we can start applying for these NFTs. So these are the really what the NFT collectors are looking for.
Cool. So obviously, the NFT landscape is constantly changing. I'm interested in that we're now seeing the rise of Bitcoin NFTs, and I'm very interested in that. So I want to get your take on Bitcoin NFTs and what you guys think about that, especially in terms of investing in those.
I'll tell you. So when I first heard about it, I again, like most things, I like to dabble. I like to get my hands dirty, to understand some things. So, in every one of my groups, I'm in a couple DAOs, I'm on a project, I'm an investor. So we were all talking about, should we buy, should we build, what do we want to do? There were a few, there was a real big rush in the beginning. I think it's really interesting to be, like we were saying before, it's on chain. They're doing some interesting things with this. They're introducing some new utility to Bitcoin, which I think any more exposure to the Bitcoin ecosystem is always a great thing for the whole market. I'm a big believer in Bitcoin as still a pillar and foundation of the cryptocurrency ecosystem, even though it doesn't get talked about at conferences like this. I still think it plays a very important role. So if NFTs and ordinals and things of that nature start to bring more exposure and visibility to the Bitcoin community, I'm all for that. It's a very, very, very early market. I don't know yet what the path for scale or true customer adoption or utility might be. But like, again, this is the space we're in. Experimentation is everything. So I get excited when I see people trying new shit. So I'm excited about it.
To be honest, I'm not a fan of Bitcoin NFTs because I do believe that as the fundamental layer of all the crypto world, Bitcoin should stay as simple as they can, right? It should be trusted, right? So keep on going simple. Bitcoin is just Bitcoin, nothing else, right? So yeah.
So I actually think it's probably one of the most exciting things that happened to Bitcoin this year, and it shows that it doesn't have to stay as it is. Things evolve, technology evolves, and if this is an opportunity for Bitcoin to find another product market fit rather than just payments, I think that's super exciting and also will trigger a lot of activity in the Bitcoin community and the developer community. So I think like I'm all for it. I haven't bought them personally, but I just think that it's such an interesting experience for Bitcoin that we'll see a lot of innovation come out of it.
Yeah, no, definitely. So for those who know, recently there's something called ordinals, or digital artifacts. So you inscribe an image onto a SAT. So this is kind of like how programmable NFTs are becoming more adaptable within the Bitcoin ecosystem. But it's still very early. This is something that happened early this year, actually. So it kind of remains to be seen as to where can you take this innovation to that next level. The first NFTs actually were minted on Counterparty, which is Bitcoin, with Rare Pepe. So from there, it sparked this whole other generation. So I really want to ask, what would this new ordinal generation spark? So it might spark within an Ethereum ecosystem to think in that direction as well.
I'll just say that it doesn't matter what chain they're on. So, you know, NFT on Bitcoin or NFT on Flow or NFT on Ethereum. The only thing that matters is if it's collectible, it's an art, and how much following it has. But the most important thing looking forward is to worry about utility. And when we will find true mass market use cases for NFTs, which we still haven't, then kind of chain that they will be on wouldn't matter, as long as it can provide that massive throughput and access for tens, probably hundreds of millions of people to use it.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I think utility is very important when it comes to NFTs, especially today. I also wanted to ask, given current market conditions, do you think now is still a good time to invest in NFTs? Why or why not? Whoever wants to start.
I can start. Probably now is the best time to invest in NFTs. Some asset prices didn't come down. I mean, we've seen a staying power in some NFTs. But as the price of ETH came down and a lot of the NFTs price have depreciated, I think it's just a great opportunity depending on how you invest. If you invest in individual NFTs or if you're buying portfolio of NFTs, I think looking to the future, it's a great opportunity. There's tons of projects that are still launching. I'm going to participate in the launch of a project that does where you mint an NFT that represents a diamond or an emerald, and in the future you'll be able to have access to that piece of jewelry. So I think there's so much innovation and so many ways to mint and create new communities with NFTs that I would just come in as early as I can, and it's always a good time to buy NFTs.
For me, it depends on your ambition. If you want to play in this tiny little segment that what we have right now will become in the future, then yeah, sure, go ahead and invest in NFTs right now. But if one has building talent, what you need to be looking is experimenting and inventing that new utility will undoubtedly create so much more adoption to NFTs than we're seeing right now. We ain't seen nothing yet when it comes to NFT's ability to participate in everyday life of people. You know, kind of the thing that I'm excited about and I believe will happen for sure is ticketing. You know, kind of we're spending so much money on buying access to a concert, to playing, to this and that. NFTs are a perfect, I think, vehicle to carry this. And it's a seemingly very simple use case. And this is used by hundreds of millions of people every day. This is the type of stuff that 5 years from now, when we're going to have it, we're going to look back at this and we're going to think like this was a nascent industry and playing in it was exciting, but it's nothing in comparison to what we have right now. So build, innovate, bring in new use cases, experiment.
I guess here's my thesis. You know, I've been a long-term NFT investor since, you know, again, for years now. But the way I look at it is, I think I heard a statistic. I could be wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong. There's about 12,000 daily active users that are spending over 0.05 a day on OpenSea. Let's just call OpenSea the metric. So let's call it 15 to 20,000 maybe across the space that are buying NFTs, spending more than 0.05. You know. This Web3, this whole crypto market, you know, from about 2011 to 2017, we speculated on white papers and all that kind of stuff. Then we had the first wave of real user adoption, which was DeFi, and DeFi brought in the first wave of users. From there, 2019 to 2022, NFTs became the next big user of adoption, and honestly, I think NBA Top Shot was the catalyst for most of that. It was, I think they brought in 500,000 wallets and people into NFTs. My opinion is that gaming is going to be the next big wave for adoption, and I think it's going to be exponentially more user adoption than DeFi and NFTs combined. So when I think about that, and I say in the next 24 months, you're going to have some of the big AAA game studios start to bring their games. Like I tell a lot of my portfolio companies, stop worrying about trying to bring Web 2 to Web 3. Let the big gaming companies do that. Get your product right. There's enough user base to grow your user base. Make sure everyone in Web3 now wants you. Because when the new user base comes, and they are coming, they're going to follow the games that they've been playing for years. When they come and they realize that the ocarina of time that they acquired in that game could be sold for tens of thousands of dollars, they're never going back to regular gaming again. So that's going to bring in a wave of users, and what's going to happen is they're going to go on a journey. Those users are going to go on a journey, and they're going to get hooked on NFTs the first time they play their game and acquire that, and then they're going to want to say, well, let me see the history of this space. And then they're going to look for CryptoPunks. They're going to look into, don't get me wrong, these last 6 months and hopefully the next 6 months wipe out a lot of the crap. But the companies that sustain, the projects that sustain, that build innovative products, that build strong communities, that build good sustainable business models into their NFT projects, they're going to survive, and they're going to be the ones that are going to reap the benefits of the next wave of user adoption from gaming. So what does that mean? It means that the NFTs that you identify now that can stand the test of time and can get through the crypto winter are going to have a lot more customers to sell to in 12 to 24 months. So if you could think on that time frame, I think you'll be in good shape.
Yeah, I really agree on the gaming part. So basically, I think as a fund, it's a good time because we're still in a bearish market, right? So it's a good time to invest into NFT-related technologies or NFT-related platforms. So we've seen a lot of new innovations coming out, like I mentioned, like for example, NFT plus some like token-gated things, token-gated content, and NFT plus AI, like a new, I don't know if you heard of a game called AI Arena. So AI Arena, what they do is actually they use NFTs to seal AI algorithms inside an NFT, and you can trade AI algorithm to train your character. So it's a very, very innovative kind of idea. And for a collector, I think every day is a great day for buying NFTs. The matter is like when to sell, right? So if you want to make money, like how can you sell? Like when you gonna sell the NFTs, right? So basically, I think investing into NFTs is like angel investment. It's like doing angel investment. It's like, okay, I also bought a lot of NFTs that went zero, but I always catch the alpha inside it. So basically, it's all about when to sell. And when you see some, I would say, not good things happen in the community, or they're not following their roadmap, or you see the utility of the NFT is not what they just promised in their white paper, so just be sure to dump the NFTs. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I was saying this in a year, the word NFT is going to be going away. We're going to actually be using NFT without realizing. So as more enterprises get into this market, you're starting to see like membership and token gated access. You're probably using NFT without realizing it. And what's happening now, there's a conversion point. What that means is there's AI entering in the NFT space, and of course the metaverse. So these are new utilities and tooling that's going to allow the creator economy to have more innovation within the NFT space that could do more unlocks abilities and token getting goals. One of the things that I've noticed that has really been very popular is wearables. These memorabilia within NFT. So you have a limited edition sports collectible memorabilia. So these are really hot in the market where you have a unique artifact. They're highly collectible, and there's a huge demand for that. So I definitely look into those type of NFTs that are more like the sports memorabilia aspect, or wearable tennis shoes, clothing line, and fashions. These seems to be very popular, and they're not going away. They're actually becoming more and more collectible as more people start adopting this to me. So don't think about NFT as something that's, it's not going to go away. Actually, I think it's going to be more adopted, if anything else.
Cool. And on that note, we are out of time. We're actually over time, so apologies to the next panel. Thank you to the panelists. Thank you guys for joining us so late in the day. We really appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of ETH Denver.